What if I told you an NFL head coach once traded away his entire draft class for just one player? Not a Pro Bowl vet, not even a guy with one NFL snap. A college running back wearing a wedding dress next to his coach on ESPN's cover. This wasn't a joke, it was real. Mike Ditka bet the house on Ricky Williams. And when it blew up, the Saints didn't just lose the bet. They fell into one of the darkest holes in franchise history. But the wildest part? The trade wasn't even the worst decision they made. This is the craziest draft trade in NFL history. In the NFL, one bad trade can haunt a team for decades. We've seen it before, like when the Mavericks basically gave away Luka Doncic for an injury-prone center and a bag of peanuts. But the NFL has its own hall of shame for bad trades. The Herschel Walker trade built the Cowboys dynasty. But what if, instead of a star player, you went all in on a guy who hadn't played a single NFL snap? That's what happened in 1999. The New Orleans Saints, desperate to escape decades of irrelevance, made one of the boldest moves in NFL history. Their head coach, Mike Ditka, was a legend from his Chicago Bears days. And there was one college player he couldn't stop thinking about: Ricky Williams. To be fair, Ricky Williams wasn't just some hype machine. At Texas, he was a college football monster. Over 7,000 all-purpose yards, 2 unanimous All-American seasons, and a Heisman Trophy in his senior year. In 1998 alone, he ran for over 2,600 yards and scored 30 touchdowns. The guy was electric. So yes, he was guaranteed to go in the first round. But no one expected a team to sell the farm for him, except Mike Ditka. Ditka went on the record saying he would trade his entire draft to get Ricky. And with that one sentence, he blew up the Saints' negotiating power. Teams knew they could ask for anything, and Washington did. To move up to pick 5, Ditka gave up every single 1999 pick, all 6 rounds, plus a first and third in 2000. That's not a trade. That's a franchise fire sale. But Ditka believed Ricky was his next Walter Payton. So what happened next? Well, things got weird. Before Ricky Williams ever touched an NFL field, he and Mike Ditka were already a national punchline. ESPN, the magazine, August 1999. Ditka in a tux, Ricky in a wedding dress. It was supposed to be funny, but to most fans, it made the Saints look like a joke. Then came the actual season. Ricky didn't score a touchdown until Week 10. He missed time with injuries, and the Saints' offense looked lost. Sure, he had a few flashes: 111 yards versus the Giants, 179 yards versus Cleveland. He even cracked 1,000 scrimmage yards as a rookie. But for a guy they gave up everything for, he wasn't the game breaker they expected. And it wasn't just Ricky. The whole team collapsed. The Saints went from back-to-back 6-10 seasons to 3-13. Their standing QB, Billy Joe Tolliver. In 10 games, he threw more picks than touchdowns, barely broke 1,900 yards, and retired immediately after the season. Just 1 year into the Ricky Williams experiment, Mike Ditka was fired. And yet, Ditka said years later, "I'd do the trade again." With Ditka out, the Saints hit the reset button. Enter Jim Haslett, a former Raiders linebacker coach, handed the keys to New Orleans. And at first, it looked like more of the same. The Saints started the season 1-3, stumbling into their bye week early. But then, something changed. Coming out of the bye, the Saints caught fire. 6 straight wins. They stormed back into playoff contention. And at the center of it all, Ricky Williams. Weeks 5 through 7 alone, Ricky racked up 450 rushing yards. He was finally becoming the superstar Ditka envisioned. But then it all came crashing down. Shattered ankle. Week 10. Ricky was done for the year. He'd missed the final 6 games of the regular season, But even in just 10 games, Ricky put up 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. It was a clear message. This guy could still be the guy. And somehow, some way, the Saints went 10-6, won the division, and snagged their first playoff win in franchise history. For a moment, it looked like the Ricky Williams trade had finally paid off. 2001 was supposed to be the year. The Saints had momentum, Ricky was healthy, but instead of taking the next step, they collapsed. Ricky played a full season, posted over 1,300 total yards, but it wasn't enough. The team missed the playoffs, and after just 3 years, the Saints decided to move on from their all-in investment. In the 2002 offseason, they traded Ricky Williams to the Miami Dolphins for 2 first-round picks. Yes, the Dolphins gave up 2 firsts. But for Ricky, a change of scenery was just what he needed. In 2002, Ricky absolutely exploded. He played all 16 games, racked up over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, and scored 17 touchdowns. It was the best season of his career, and it looked like Ricky had finally arrived. He followed it up in 2003 with another 1,700 yards. But just when things were clicking, everything went sideways. After 2 monster seasons in Miami, Ricky disappeared. In 2004, he suddenly retired just days before training camp. The reason? A mix of injuries, mental health, and failed drug tests. Then came 2005, a full season suspension. In 2006 and 07, barely played, just 6 total games. From MVP candidate to NFL ghost. But then in 2009, at age 32, Ricky pulled off a miracle. He posted nearly 1,400 total yards and 13 touchdowns, his best season in 7 years. He followed it up with 1 final year in Miami, then spent a quiet season with Baltimore before retiring for good. So was the trade worth it? Absolutely not. Ricky became a great player, but not in New Orleans. The Saints gave up 8 draft picks, got 1 Pro Bowl season in return, and watched Ditka's regime crash and burn. Meanwhile, Washington used those picks to draft Champ Bailey, future Hall of Fame corner, LeVar Arrington, Pro Bowl linebacker. In a 2013 issue of Sports Illustrated, the Ricky Williams trade was named the 2nd worst trade in NFL history. Today, it lives on as a cautionary tale of what happens when emotion trumps strategy in the war room. Will we ever see a deal like it again? Probably not. But in the NFL draft, you'll never know. 1 coach, 1 player, 8 draft picks gone, and one of the wildest trades in NFL history. If you love stories like this, smash that subscribe button for more draft day disasters, busts, and insane trades. And as always, stay sharp, stay unscripted.